Hello and what is going on today, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video in SpinTires MudRunner, and today we're going to be taking a look at another vehicle from Spun's vault. Now this is his 67 K10, and I'll be leaving a link in the description box down below, and I also want you guys to let me know if you've tried this truck out, what you think of this truck, and if you are going to try it out, and we're going to go ahead and test it out here on one of the latest additions in the Truck Night map series. So, with all that being said, let's go ahead and fire it up and see what it can do. Now, first of all, we do need to see if it has any add-ons available, which it actually does not. And I'm going to go ahead and refuel it, but I'm not going to use the dev tools to do that. I'm going to go into the fuel station and refuel it there. And then we're going to head out onto the course, because apparently I can't talk today. And we're going to head out onto the course, and we're going to see what this thing is properly capable of. Now, as you can see, it's a full-on Truggy. I mean, you've got your spare on the back, you've got your cooler, everything behind the cab is a tube frame. There's really, I mean, custom suspension pickup points, you name it, it's got it. So, what's interesting, though, to me about this is that it's still a leaf spring setup in the back. It hasn't been converted over to coilovers or anything like that. It's still very much an old-school setup when it comes to how it is actually set. Now, I would like to see trucks like this make an appearance in SnowRunner. I think it would be really cool to have a truck like this make an appearance in SnowRunner, especially in the new regions that were recently announced, like Wisconsin, and even Michigan or some of the Canadian areas, the Canadian maps. A truck like this would be such an amazing addition to that, because I feel like, especially in a region like Michigan or Wisconsin, it would fit right in, because, they have off-road areas there in real life, and trucks like this go wheeling there. People take trucks like this wheeling there in real life, and it would be one of the closest things we have to a near Forza-style simulation of off-roading. And I think that a truck like this, moving forward into SnowRunner, would really contribute to that mindset, to that mentality. So far, it does pretty well in the mud, too. As long as you leave it in low 3, I mean, it does really, really well. Coming up to our first climb now, I'm going to see how it does if I throw it in high and I try to... Ooh, wow, the gearing. All right. So high is actually pretty quick, and you have to be going at a pretty good pace and be quick with your shifts if you actually want it to, if you want to bump it up into high without running into stalling issues. Let's see, we're easy. Walking it through the mud. It does very well in the mud, surprisingly so, in my opinion. Wow, I'm surprised I was able to even get it into high right there. Wow, that's actually genuinely surprising to me. I figured it wouldn't do that. I figured it was just gonna, just start kind of, puttering itself out. Which is what, to be fair, which is what most trucks do coming up to that climb out of the mud. I mean, that mud is thick. That mud is thick, and that mud is deep, and there's a lot of rocks there that also really get in the way. This section, I always like to use it as a little bit of a test of kind of truck handling / how well the high gear is balanced in terms of wheel speed, because if you have like a really, really fast high gear, you'll sometimes sink, because while this isn't super soft back here, it is a little softer than you might assume. So I kind of like to use this as a little bit of a test of how much you can vary the throttle in high. And for this truck, you can vary it a lot, actually. It does really well through here. Oh, easy. Easy light throttle. You can modulate it. It's not very hard to modulate with this truck. It sometimes takes a little bit of getting used to, and I think if you go in guns blazing, full throttle everywhere, yeah, you'll definitely sink. But in areas like this, if you do kind of feather the throttle and vary your pressure a little bit, you'll be all right. Oh, it definitely will not go up into 4th gear in auto. I feel like 4th gear in auto is probably restricted to just almost like the hardest and driest of dirt roads and maybe paved roads. You're really never going to use 4th gear in automatic mode in this truck if you're running down the trails, which makes sense. I just wanted to see if it would shift up into it. I'm surprised it hasn't started spinning and sinking yet. Easy does it. Come on. Uh-oh. It was starting to sink through there. I had to let off a good bit. Easy through the checkpoint. Not too bad. It's doing pretty well. All right, junkyard now. Junkyard is always tricky, but it's definitely a quick way to figure out the capabilities of one of your trucks. Up and over. I feel like with this one, I feel like it'll probably do it, but I also feel like it's going to be all about the line. Oh, yeah, easy. There you go. Oh, okay, we're caught up on that inside edge. I'm trying to think if there's really a way to get around that tire without getting lodged on this car. And actually, thankfully enough, it did it really easily. I think one of the nicest things about this truck, too, is that it's not too big. I mean, it's big, but it's not overly huge. And the fact that it's not overly huge actually makes it better at obstacles like this. And because you can relate an obstacle like this, like the junkyard, to a really tight rock garden as well. There you go. Just walk it through nice and easy. Most of this has been half throttle in low 3, not even full throttle. There you go, walking up over the car. And now let me see if I can beat the falling bus. Oh, no! Oh, no! It beat me. Yep, it beat me on the way down. All right. What? How the heck did that happen? That was like, that car just kicked me over. Normally, vehicles are just fine through there. Release that, start her back up, and she's good to go. But yeah, normally vehicles are just fine through there, like, to drive over that car in high. That just absolutely threw this thing. I feel like that's probably because it doesn't have quite as much suspension flex or travel as some of the other crawlers I take through here. And that's not a dig at this truck by any means. It's more just an observation. All right, let's see if we can attack these boards in high. Ooh, oh man, I let off too much. And it fell out of the power band just enough for the truck to be like, nope, we're not doing that. Flat out over the jump. Should be able to make it through here flat out and high. I'd be surprised if it starts to sink. Most trucks can make it through this because even though it's wet, the mud isn't super thick. So the likelihood of you sinking is a lot less. There we go, and easy up the hill, up and over. This is probably one of the only places where you'll ever see this thing get into fourth, and it's pretty fast in fourth, I'm not gonna lie. Now through here, it will sink. I'm gonna put it in low 3. Now as you can see, in low 3, this is low 3 full throttle. So mud-wise, I mean, I think it's gonna be fine. Now in reference to how it would be in SnowRunner, I'm not really sure off the top of my head, although I do feel like its mud performance will probably be fairly similar to its snow performance. And I know that the mud and snow performance are going to be different, like, based on whatever truck you're driving or what tires you're running. But and obviously the friction dynamics are going to be different. But I feel like the performance should be fairly similar for this truck. While they might not be exactly the same, fairly similar, I think, is a good assumption. So let's head through this next section real quick. It is a good-looking truck, isn't it? Like, I'm just, like, looking at it now, and I'm like, honestly, that's a dang good-looking truck. It really is. And it's one of those trucks where you're like, I mean, yeah, I'd drive it. Why wouldn't I? You know, like, you look at it and you're like, of course I'd drive it. It's just got so much character. I mean, it looks like something that came out of somebody's backyard, but I think that's the whole point, you know? That's the whole point of this truck, is that it looks like it came out of somebody's backyard. It looks like it was built by a grassroots fabricator. It looks like it was built, you know, in a barn or what have you. You know, whatever building you might have on hand that has a welder and some tools inside of it. And it really pulls that off very, very well. Running through the last bit of the mud course now. See if it'll let me run it in high through here. It's not much faster than it was in low 3, I'll tell you that. Not much faster at all. Yeah, it's not much faster in low 3, or not even low 3, high. It's not much faster in high through that mud than it was in low 3. Leaving it in. Whoa! Oh, boy. Yep. I wanted that picture, you bet. It's like, you better believe I wanted that picture. Boy. Oh, yep, I wanted that one too. Oh my god, this thing is awesome. Like, I genuinely had a good time with this truck. It's a really, really good truck. It's a really fun truck, and honestly, I think it's a truck that y'all really should check out, because at the end of the day, I mean, there's no reason not to. It's out there on the Steam Workshop. It's available to download. I'll have a link, like I said before, in the description box down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please do leave it a like. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments, and subscribe for more. Turn those notifications on. I'll see you guys next time. Talk to y'all later.